4 months with the Roland V-Stage. In this video, I'll give you my experience practicing, gigging, and sound designing on this board. Stay tuned, and hopefully this video will help you decide if the Roland V-Stage is the right board for you. For more videos like this, please like and subscribe. Let's get into it. All right, so 4 months with this board. I gigged out with it about 6 times. Okay, so I'm going to go over a number of things. All right, so let's dive in. How much does it weigh? About 36 pounds. I usually pair it up with a hard shell case. So yeah, it still has some heft to it. And the V-Stage has these end caps that work almost like handles to me, because whenever I want to grab it, take it off or on a stand, it works perfectly. So I'm grateful for those ledges. Now the boot up time is pretty fast, 8 seconds for the boot up time. So it's always a pleasure to have that, especially when you want to practice really quickly or set up for a gig. Let's talk ports. Now the ports are plenteous, as you can see. I usually, like most people, I use the 1/4-inch jacks for the outputs. Now I have used the XLR outs for one of the gigs, and that worked perfectly fine. The mic input has definitely come in handy. I'm not a singer, but I've used it a couple of times to run tracks through it. And I did that because there's a dedicated button over here for mic in. And so I wanted to be able to control the volume of the tracks on the fly. So that's why I always use that for my tracks. I'm so grateful for the USB-C on this unit. It's so easy to plug up your phone, tablet, or laptop and send sound straight to that device, or take sound from the device and put it to the outputs. The external devices, I used that once. I'm excited to use it in the future for the organ, because it's 2 inputs, or outputs I should say. I could plug up a MIDI keyboard for the top layer for the organ and a MIDI footboard, so I could have the foot controllers for the organ and top. So it's pretty seamless. I've seen it done, but I haven't tried it yet. Plenty of outputs for your controllers, for your pedals. All right, so ports is probably one of the best things about this board, is the in and outs. A big plus for the Roland V-Stage. All right, so let's talk something that I know you all want to hear about, and that's the Keybed. This is the 76 key model. It's a waterfall action, synth action type of Keybed. And so it's almost like a hybrid Keybed. The best way I can describe the feel of it is it feels like an organ, but at the same time, synth action, if that makes any sense. You can play the keys, the piano pretty well. It's a little challenging, but thank God they put a key touch sensitivity button for the acoustic piano section and the electric piano section. So that allows you to dial in the sensitivity, and that's really a lifesaver for being able to change the sensitivity of a Keybed like this. It's really robust, it's sturdy, so this is a really high quality Keybed. I do recommend it. Only gripe I can say now is it does have a click to it when you really press hard on it. I don't know if you can hear it here. Yeah, so it's almost like a snap or a click whenever you want to really dig into the board. And so that could be a little annoying if you're in a quiet space and you want to practice. Live, you won't notice it at all, of course, live. But it's a little loud. Other than that, really sturdy, good feeling Keybed on a 76 key. All right, so let's talk about the controls and navigation. Overall, I could say this board it's okay as far as the ease of use. It's not bad, it's not great. The board on a basic level, it is simple, but I find some of the challenges being, one, it takes a lot of muscle memory to get used to what you want to press on a fly. So I find myself a lot of times, especially in the beginning, wanting to control the acoustic piano section, but I kept reaching for the electric section. All the sections look alike. Buttons and knobs, same color. Maybe a different color scheme would have helped, maybe. The organ is pretty clear because it's all the way to the left and it has drawbars. But I find myself, even with the synth section, when I want to change the synth, I find myself sometimes in the effects section by mistake or, reaching for that. So it does take some muscle memory to get used as far as your speed whenever you want to do something on the fly. All of the buttons and knobs are really sturdy feeling. No issues there. Everything works just as well as it did day one, and I use this a lot. Another big con to how this is laid out is that in order to get into some of the menus, you need two hands. So for instance, let's say the shift is here. Okay, shift button's here. But you need that shift button and you need a combination of pressing another button to get into a menu quickly. You need two hands. So if you're playing live, you got to take two hands off in order to dive into certain menus. You can dive into the menus, of course, to the menu button here. But that's not, quick or on the fly. You got to actually press down and then turn again and get into certain menus and scroll. And if you want to scroll faster, you got to hold down shift while you scroll. So you need two hands to get around this board. So I really recommend you setting up your sounds and your effects before the gig, or at least utilizing the assign function of the pedal outs or even the buttons down here to really dig into or activate certain parameters quickly. Other than that, there's one more gripe that I have, is that I'm a little embarrassed to say, but for a while I didn't realize this board could be split into more than two sections. Now I'll explain. So each section you have split and you see left and right. Each section has that, right? All right, cool. So face value, you know that you can split left and right. But it's not so obvious that you can actually split this board. Now with the new update, they added the vocoder, so that's another engine. So you can split this 8 sections into 8 sections. I didn't know that. I had to go into the forum. Oh yeah, by the way, Facebook. A Facebook group is a V-Stage Facebook group you should join. Right now it has about 256 members, I think. Some really great things are being taught there. Thank you guys for the setting that up. But through that forum, I learned that, okay, you can split this thing up into different ways, meaning that you can have the bass down here, piano in the middle, synth over here, another synth all the way down here. I didn't realize that, and I figured you could do that on such a premium board. I just didn't know where to find it. I tried to do it myself, couldn't figure out. But thanks to Ron and Ed Diaz over there for making it clear. Check out the Facebook group page over there. But yeah, so that's the gripe, is that in order to split this more than 2 ways, one is not clear. But now that we know we can, you have to do some menu diving in order to split this more than 2 ways. Other than that, the V-Stage has plenty of buttons, as you can see, plenty of options, effects. Yeah, so it's not bad at all. All right, so let's talk about sounds. I'm going to be doing a sound demo video pretty soon. I just got finished wrapping up a ambient piano preset pack. I'm calling it Warm Embrace. Check it out. The link is in the bio. But as far as sounds, one word to describe this board: umph. It has a lot of umph to it. When you start to layer the sounds, it's really, really pleasing to the ear. The organ is probably the best sounding thing on here. They did a great job. This is their best organ yet. Many options here, as you can see. I haven't even scratched the surface really with the organs. The acoustic piano was really good. This is the best V-Stage piano yet. Really, this whole board is the best sounding board from Roland. I know they have The synth boards like the Synth System 8 and the Phantoms. But as far as the bread and butter sounds, yes, this is definitely the best sounding Roland keyboard out right now. The pianos are pretty cool. I definitely like how they do the uprights. Pretty good, realistic sounding uprights. A lot of textures, and through the piano designer, you can get the sound you want. The grands and the uprights, you can make them sound like anything, really, to tell you the truth. So you do need to tweak the sounds to your own liking. But yeah, really deep. Electric pianos are also really good on here. They give you a whole engine, really, section of all types of electric keys, Tyne reed, digital clavinet. They give you a separate effects section here, chorus, phaser, delay, all kind of things. A case type for the tremolo, amp simulations, and yeah, this is a whole engine over here for the electric pianos. The synthesizer section is pretty much Zencore, so pretty good quality sounds. I also downloaded the sound pack for the vintage synths. So really, even though this is not a synthesizer focused board, you can cover a lot of ground with the synthesizers on here. And then you can further edit your synth sounds on the software and then reload them. So you're not going to miss anything as far as your synth sounds here. Total effects section is pretty good. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everything's there. But there is some menu diving. If you want to hit that send button, a screen will pop up and you have to go into the menu to unlatch it. It's almost like a lock that's on all of the sounds. That's the only thing about that you have to figure out. The master EQ works pretty well. Just hit that one button for on and you can EQ the whole board to what the room is doing. All right, so that's a wrap of all of the top panels. All right, so overall, my experience over these 4 months has been pleasant with the Roland V-Stage. It's a pretty deep board. At first, I didn't think it was deep, but no, there's a lot you can do. All right, so overall, the Roland V-Stage is a very solid stage keyboard. It's up there with the Nord Stage, is up there with Yamaha YC. It's definitely a contender. I didn't think it was that deep at first, but I was wrong. This is a pretty deep board. You can make it sound pretty much any way you want it to sound. The organ is probably the MVP of the board. Very good sounding, really strong sounding organ. Really good emulations for the Leslie or the rotary speaker, I should say. Yeah, everything about this board is pretty solid. I do recommend it. You do have to use two hands to get into the parameters of each engine. The piano engine is probably the only one you don't. Maybe the piano organ. But for the other parameters where there's effects, you need to actually hold down either the menu button or the shift button as you're pressing one of the other buttons. So that's the biggest gripe. Other than that, I do recommend this, and I'm going to keep this board. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to Key Breakthrough. Please like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this board and what you want to know about this board. I'll try to answer any questions I can in the comment sections. Thank you.